Well, hi guys, it's that time. It's our Hello Tuesday. How about that? It's not our Bible teaching snippet, by the way. I just want to do a little bit of reflection on yesterday's Monday story. This is where I talked about the accident that I had on I-30 when I was headed home Friday to come home from being with Courtney. I had been with my kid Courtney for almost a week. It was her birthday. We had an awesome time. I had a wonderful time just to relax and reset because while she was at work all day, I was in a hotel room just relaxing and listening to audio books or reading books. And so I kind of got refreshed and caught up on some of my reading. And sometimes, when you're at home, you got all these things going on around you and you can get a little bit distracted. So it was a good refreshment for me to have a little bit of alone time as well as to spend my afternoon and evenings with her. We're just like two peas in a pod when the two of us get together. Courtney is one of the most special human beings I have ever had the honor of knowing, okay? But don't tell her that. So anyway, I want to reflect about that car accident that I had no choice of being in. There was that piece of metal coming down the highway, and there was just no way I could get around it without possibly causing a bigger accident by me trying to get away from it. So, I think about and I want to encourage you. This is why I want to talk to you today. I want to encourage you and reflect on a few things. Every single day before I get out of bed, I have already predetermined, my father predetermines everything, by the way. I'm going to predetermine that I'm going to be in a good mood. I'm predetermined that I'm going to walk in love. I predetermined that I'm going to be kind to people. I'm going to love people. And I have found that once you finally get to a point that you predetermine to live that way, to make it a lifestyle, the more that you practice it. Now, the first few times you may have to bite your lip and not say something to someone, but once you get into the habit of walking in love, it's like riding a bicycle. The first time you get on the bicycle, you may wobble a little bit. You may even need some training wheels to keep you sitting straight up and not wreck the thing or turn over. But once you get to a point that you're walking in love toward people, I have found that it gets easier and easier and easier, and it's like you're on autopilot, okay? Every day when I get out of bed, I have already predetermined that I am going to walk in love, and I'm going to treat people with kindness, and I'm going to walk in grace toward people, even though the day may not go my way. And certainly you know that when something is coming down the highway and hits your car and you're on the side of the road with quite a bit of road damage to your vehicle, that day probably isn't working the way you had gotten up out of bed and planned it right. But look, here's what came out of that, though. I got to meet one of the most wonderful human beings in the world. What a wonderful, wonderful young man that stopped. He didn't care that he had to go to the next town to get my the tire aired up, airing it, or anything. He was more concerned about me getting the tire changed on my car and me getting back on the road safely and not being abandoned out there as a single female on the side of the road. And the wrong person stopping and taking advantage of me. That's the blessing that comes with bad things happening. Did I want to wreck my car? Did I want $2,000 worth of damage? And did I want to be 3 hours late getting home? Absolutely not. But was it a blessing for me to meet him and also for me to be able to bless him, because some things that had gone on in his life was much, much worse than a tire and a fender and a bumper being messed up on my car. He and his family have been through such a horrendous loss, losing the little 2-year-old grandson through a seizure, guys. And then he has to be off of work. Now he's behind on all of his bills, plus he's got all the expenses of going out of town to the funeral. So it's not that he just doesn't have money coming in. He spent what money he had to do the right thing, and now he had to be off of work for 2 weeks because of the COVID quarantine mandatory through his job. So, did you know it was more than an honor for me to be able to bless that young man, although he stopped to be a blessing to me? And I want to reflect on that just a little bit. Each day that we get out of bed, guys, we get to decide how we're going to live, how we're going to treat people, if we're going to be mean to them, rude to them, if we're going to love them and be kind to them. Are we going to represent Jesus, or are we going to represent religion? Because they're two totally different things. Jesus said that we were the salt and the light of the world. And you know what? The light of the world is goodness shown in the darkness. It is not when some little something happens to cause a hiccup in our day that is going to put us 3 hours behind and cost us some money, or things didn't work our way, and then we're so short-tempered that everybody in our path has to pay dearly for my bad day. Did you know it ought not to be that way? And if we're walking in love, if we're walking in the spirit of love, the way that Jesus asked us to, we are going to be a blessing to other people, even in times of things not going our way. And I always get out of bed every single day, guys. I'm telling you, every day you've just got to decide, you know what, today's going to be a good day. No matter what happens, I'm going to love people. I'm going to love the people around me, and I'm going to love everybody that encounters me, because the impression that we leave with them can actually bring them to Christ. They can walk away saying, that person really does know the Lord. And if we don't handle it the right way, they're going to walk away going, oh yeah, they claim it, but man, let any little thing happen and they're going to show you who they really are. So let me encourage you, when you get up of a morning, just say a little prayer. Father, let me represent you in this world. Let the world see love in me, coming out of me, working through me into the earth. And it really does. The more you do it, it's like riding that bicycle. Before long, you're not just trying to balance it anymore. You're riding it like a pro. You're able to do wheelies and tricks and all kinds of things on your bicycle, because now you've learned how to walk in the Spirit, flow in the Spirit, and let the Spirit of love flow through and out of you and pour all over everyone else. Don't let the small things in the world be a hindrance to your faith walk, showing the world who we follow and what we believe and what we live by, okay? Well, listen, I'm going to hop off. Today's my play day with my little Eli. I'm leaving the house now to go get my little boy, and we're going to spend the rest of the afternoon together. I'll see you here tomorrow, okay? Before I let you go, I want to tell you that I love you, and I pray only the very best for each and every one of you. I'll see you here tomorrow. Bye-bye.